Welcome back, Tenno. When the Valkyr changes were announced, the reaction hit hard. A lot of players didn't want her touched. Seeing that her health bar no longer turned gray during Hysteria made it feel like something had been stripped away. But the change was deliberate. What we got is something more hands-on, more aggressive, and way more rewarding once you understand how it works. Everything revolves around the new rage meter, and it's more than just a passive. Doesn't matter if you're swinging a regular melee weapon or using her claws, it all feeds the same meter. Light attacks give a small bump. Finishers and mercy kills give a bigger chunk. Once the meter crosses 150%, Valkyr enters a critical state. If she takes fatal damage in that window, she lets out a scream, becomes completely invulnerable for 5 seconds, and your health is fully restored. No cooldown, no delay. You can start building rage again the second you're back in motion. On top of that, she recovers faster from knockdowns and is immune to hard landings. That part might sound small, but in high-pressure fights where you're sliding, jumping, and chaining movement constantly, that extra control is a quiet layer of survivability. On top of that, while rage builds, you're also gaining a flat melee damage bonus that scales up to 300%. It's not a buff icon, it's baked directly into her output and stacks with everything else. This single system does 2 things. It replaces the old Hysteria invincibility mechanic and turns Valkyr into a frame that rewards constant aggression. You survive by moving. You scale by fighting. And that's exactly how she's meant to be played. This is just the start. That new passive alone makes Valkyr feel like a completely different frame. Not just strong, top tier. She's probably one of the easiest high-performing melee warframes newer players can pick up right now. Let's continue with her abilities and lay out how each one plays into this new direction. Her first ability is Ripline. This lets Valkyr launch a grappling hook up to 75 meters out. If it hits terrain, she ziplines to the spot. If it hits an enemy, it pulls nearby enemies into the target and drags Valkyr in for a melee strike. There's a combo mechanic here too. If you cast it again within a 1-second window, Ripline costs less energy and hits harder. Keep doing it, and it scales up fast. The third cast in the chain can hit with 4 times the damage at just a quarter of the energy cost. The ability also resets your double jump, which opens up some crazy movement loops. Her second ability is Warcry. This is a full body rally that buffs attack speed and armor for everyone in affinity range. It lasts 20 seconds and reactivates automatically when allies walk back into range. With enough strength and duration, Warcry turns Valkyr into a blender. And while Hysteria is active, Warcry's armor bonus is tripled, which is where a lot of the survivability kicks in for this build. There's also an augment called Eternal War, which extends Warcry's duration with every melee kill you make. That mod is essential for keeping the flow going if you want to stay in full momentum. Her third ability has been replaced in this build, but for reference, it's called Paralysis. It's a burst of impact damage around Valkyr that slows enemies and opens them up to finishers. That makes it decent for setting up kills and feeding the rage meter quickly through finishers. But in this build, Paralysis is out and Wrathful Advance from Colorfo is in. The reason is simple. It fits the flow of this setup much more naturally. Wrathful Advance gives Valkyr a way to teleport directly to an enemy and land a heavy melee strike. During the wind-up, she's fully invulnerable. Once it connects, she gains a 100% bonus to final critical chance on all melee attacks for 10 seconds. This bonus applies to her Exalted Claws and stacks with everything else in the build. It means more red crits, more consistent burst damage, and a faster path to Arcane Fury procs. It also lets you gap close while staying in motion and surviving under pressure. For a playstyle built around the constant aggression and melee uptime, Wrathful Advance doesn't just fit, it amplifies the entire flow. Then there's Hysteria. Her Exalted Claws come out and everything changes. You get lifesteal on every hit, you gain full status immunity. Every strike has high base crit and slash weighting. Slam attacks, slide attacks, aerials, they all hit hard and they all heal you. While Hysteria is active, you can still cast other abilities including Warcry. And since Warcry's armor bonus triples during Hysteria, the two stack together perfectly. Hysteria uses the Valkyr Talons as an exalted melee weapon. That means you can mod it like any other melee weapon. Arcanes, crit mods, condition overload, it all applies. Energy drains slowly over time while it's active, but this build is designed to feed that loop. We'll break that all down once we get to the mod section. That's the full breakdown of her ability kit and the foundation this build is built on. From here, we move into the mods, the arcanes, and exactly how it all stays fueled in long fights. Arcane Battery is the first arcane in this build. Valkyr Prime has the highest base armor of any Warframe in the game, and that armor now directly scales her energy pool through this arcane. It gives up to 1000 extra energy based on total armor, which means the higher your armor, the more energy you can store. Since this build uses Warcry and Hysteria constantly, the extra energy isn't just useful, it's necessary. Arcane Fury is the second arcane. Every time you land a critical hit with melee, you have a chance to gain a massive 180% bonus melee damage for 18 seconds. This applies to all melee strikes, including her Exalted Claws. With Wrathful Advance giving 100% bonus final critical chance, this arcane activates often and feeds straight into the core damage loop. The Aura mod is Ready Steal. This gives the squad 24 initial combo count at mission start. That combo feeds Galvanized Reflex and Tenokai opportunities immediately, which is important since this build leans into heavy attacks and red crit chains. In the Exilus slot, Power Drift gives a small bonus to strength and a 30% chance to resist knockdowns. That bonus stacks with Valkyr's passive knockdown recovery and helps keep control tight in fast engagements. Now into the main mod section. Primed Flow is the first one to highlight here. It expands Valkyr's energy pool by 185%. That increased energy max works perfectly with Arcane Battery, letting you stretch the energy ceiling and get more out of the pool before needing recovery. When you're constantly casting Warcry and holding Hysteria, Primed Flow makes sure your energy economy doesn't break down mid-fight. Archon Continuity is equipped for its 55% duration bonus and its added effect. If any toxin status is inflicted by your abilities or exalted weapon, it also applies corrosive. Since Valkyr Talons are modded for toxin, this creates passive corrosive layering with every strike. It adds to damage and helps with armor strip. Equilibrium is the backbone of Valkyr's energy economy. It converts health pickups into energy and energy pickups into health. That means when you start triggering health orbs with abilities or companion effects, you're feeding energy back into the loop automatically. With Arcane Battery boosting capacity, this system keeps your energy pool topped up even when Hysteria blocks energy restore effects. Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Precision Intensify, Augur Secrets, and Narrow-Minded round out the build. Blind Rage gives 99% ability strength at the cost of efficiency, which is fine because this build compensates with a strong energy loop. Transient Fortitude adds 55% more strength with a minor duration trade-off, which is offset by Archon Continuity. Precision Intensify gives 90% strength, but only to your 4th ability. Since Hysteria is the 4th, it's a direct boost to her Exalted Claws. Augur Secrets adds another 24% and helps round out the total power level. Narrow-Minded gives 99% more duration and cuts ability range, which isn't an issue for this build. Warcry is the only range-dependent ability, and its range is already strong enough to cover close quarters fights. The extra duration keeps buffs like Warcry and Wrathful Advance's crit bonus running longer. This mod setup pushes Valkyr's strength to the level where every swing from her claws hits harder. Her armor buffs are stronger. Her survivability stays high, and her energy loop doesn't collapse in long missions. That's the full build for Valkyr herself. Next up is the Exalted Weapon, the Valkyr Talons, and how they're modded to take full advantage of everything this setup gives her. The arcane equipped here is Melee Exposure. Every time you cast an ability, your melee strikes gain 60% bonus corrosive damage for 25 seconds, stacking up to 240%. That effect applies to exalted weapons, including Valkyr's Claws, and it stacks with the Toxin from Primed Fever Strike and the bonus corrosive procs from Archon Continuity. Every cast of Warcry or Wrathful Advance keeps this arcane fueled. In the Exilus slot, Discipline's Merit is equipped. This enables Tennokai on a fixed timer. Every 4 melee hits guarantees a Tennokai opportunity instead of relying on random triggers. With how fast the Valkyr Talons swing, this means near constant access to heavy attacks. Tennokai also gives you perfect control over when to drop a heavy strike, which is important for Wrathful Advance. The core melee mods are focused around critical damage, scaling, and status layering. Primed Pressure Point gives a 165% base damage boost, setting up the entire damage curve. Condition Overload adds bonus melee damage based on how many unique status effects are active on the target. With this build layering Corrosive, Toxin, and additional procs from companion effects, this mod stays fully stacked. Galvanized Steel adds 110% critical chance and builds critical damage on kill up to 120% bonus. Organ Shatter and Gladiator Might together push the critical multiplier even higher, making each red crit hit harder. Galvanized Reflex gives 50% heavy attack efficiency and builds combo count on kill. With Ready Steel and Discipline's Merit already feeding combo, this mod helps you stay capped between bursts. Primed Fever Strike adds 165% toxin damage. That toxin is what triggers the corrosive effect from Archon Continuity. And it also builds with melee exposure to double down on status types for condition overload. Primed Reach is equipped for range, letting the claws hit more enemies per swing, control crowds better, and clear faster. This build is made for red crits, combo control, and constant heavy attack access. Tennokai keeps you charged. Wrathful Advance guarantees critical hits. Arcane Fury stacks bonus damage. Melee Exposure stacks corrosive. And with the Talons modded for crits and status, everything feeds directly into the core loop Valkyr was built to sustain. This version of Valkyr isn't about coasting on invincibility or standing still. This one is all about rhythm, momentum, Staying aggressive and surviving because you're never letting up. That's what makes this frame feel alive and dangerous. Before I wrap this up, let me quickly talk about the Archon Shards I originally planned for this build. Right now, I've actually run out of them, especially the ones I need for this setup. I would be running 4 Tau Forged Violet Archon Shards, each with the bonus that gives plus 37.5% melee critical damage. If your max energy is over 500, that bonus doubles. Since this build already runs Arcane Battery and Primate Flow to push the energy cap, that condition would always be active. That's 75% extra melee crit damage per shard, and it stacks. On top of that, I'd include 1 Tau Forged Amber Archon Shard, with the bonus that fills 45% of your max energy on spawn. You've probably seen me use this shard in a bunch of other builds too. It's just there for quality of life. It lets you jump right into casting Warcry or Hysteria as soon as you respawn or revive, without scrambling for energy. Hopefully, I can slot all 5 in once I get my next batch of Tau Forged Shards. That is Valkyr now. Every single Warframe player should have her in their arsenal, especially newer players. You can pick her up from the boss on Jupiter. She's practically unkillable when played right. She gives you damage, she gives you speed, she gives you full control over every fight. This isn't just another melee Warframe. This is one of the sharpest, cleanest, most satisfying kits we've seen in a long time. If you can get Valkyr Prime, even better. Right now, she feels like a top pick across the board. And honestly, Digital Extremes really nailed this one. This is how a rework should feel. Strong, clean, purposeful. Do more like this. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like and share it around. I'm still new to creating Warframe content, and your support helps a lot toward getting this channel monetized. Do you like the new Valkyr rework or not? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe if you want to see more Warframe builds and videos like this. I appreciate you watching, Tenno. I'll catch you in the next one.